just wanted to do this video because I feel like I have this platform and it's something I'm passionate about, and it needs to be talked about. And so yeah, we're gonna talk about this race. We're gonna press in. We're going to grow together. We are going to have empathy and compassion, and we're going to learn to have those things, and we're going to push through. So this is it. So I wanted to touch on 3 things. Excuse me. I actually recorded this video and then deleted it, so my throat is all everywhere. Anyway, I wanted to touch on 3 things that I feel like we need to consider. And I'm really talking to my white friends and the people who are white, who are online demanding information, demanding facts, demanding to be educated without offering to pay someone, and invalidating, gaslighting, verbally oppressing, those sorts of things. So I wanted to help and in a calm and rational, I guess, manner, present 3 things, 3 ideas, 3 concepts to understand when having these conversations, or really just when sitting at home and trying to like be a better human being, right? So I wanted to talk about an example that I was thinking of as I was just thinking through all of this. And it's very simplistic. I'm not going to get into all the details, but basically whenever Black people talk about types of oppression, types of injustice that we face because of our skin color, nothing else, because of our skin color, we are instantly invalidated and instantly told to get over it. That was the past. You're not in chains anymore. So you're not in physical chains anymore, so get over it. There's, no consideration for any other effects of colonialism and slavery, and then the Jim Crow South. And so I wanted to present this idea to help with that. So veterans, unlike how Africans got to America in the Atlantic slave trade, veterans signed up to go to war potentially and fight for the country. They made a choice and they signed their name on a line, or they were forced by our country to go over there. So for the veterans who made the choice on their own, or who were forced to go against their will, which as a libertarian I disagree with that, for the most part they made a choice either to live in this country, they literally chose to stay here and to live here, or they chose to go to war freely to be in the military, and they come back injured physically and psychologically and emotionally. We have empathy, we have compassion, we have sympathy, we understand. And I think any one of us who is real, they're treated like crap. Our veterans are not well taken care of, especially the physically injured ones. They tend to not be well taken care of. I'm the granddaughter of a veteran. I am the sister of a veteran. I get it. And so many veterans are just treated like trash, which is ridiculous, and it makes me really upset. But nonetheless, for this example, they chose to go. And in the past, they chose to go. And so slaves didn't choose to be here. Okay, we were stolen, forced to come over here, and then beaten and raped and hung when we tried to run away. So if you can have compassion and empathy for someone who made a choice, hypothetically, let's say this veteran made a choice to go to war because they love their country and they wanted to fight, and they come back and they're screwed up and they're mentally messed up, they're alcoholics, they're on drugs, they're poor, they're in poverty, and thus their kids grow up in poverty and having issues, and then the grandkids are set back from, you know, the kid with the silver spoon in their mouth their whole life. We can have empathy for that, even though that's one person making a choice to go over there and potentially come back screwed up. And you can't have empathy for an entire people who did not choose to come here. They were stolen and brought here. Or indigenous people were here, tried to be nice to your ancestors, and they tricked them, gave them disease, and then wiped them out and killed them. Like, legitimately sneak attack, were killing them for the purpose of having their land because God told them to. If you can't have understanding and compassion and empathy for that, then it's like your heart has a problem. Your heart has a big, very, very big issue. And I'm like, go pray about that, address it. And so I bring that example up, and it's very simplistic, and I'm not going to go through all the details because I'm trying to work on my time of these videos. But I feel like most people can see where I'm going with that, and seeing that if you can have compassion for veterans and understand that there is psychological trauma, emotional trauma, and social trauma that comes with that can be passed down through generations, you can understand how slavery, the trauma that comes from slavery and segregation, it has been passed down through to Black people from generation to generation, as well as not having the economic beginnings that your awesome patriotic founding father ancestor had when he came here and killed off everybody else and forced my ancestors to work for him and have sex with him. So hopefully you can understand that the majority of my ancestors, while your ancestors were making money and building their large, lovely plantations, mine were working the land, gaining skills without being paid, and then finally, hundreds of years later, getting free and now starting to be able to create wealth. There's a setback there. That's what we call injustice, and it has not balanced itself out due to systemic things put in place to keep it that way. I'm not going to give you the research, the stats. That is your job. I'll talk about that later. So that just leads me into this idea of growth, and if we're going to grow, we need to recognize that we need to grow. We have areas in which we don't understand and we need to grow. And hopefully that example exposed bad and illogical thinking on behalf of some of you who say horrible, just ridiculous things online. And you're really not trying to be horrible. It just, we all read it and we're like, what on earth? Anyway, the second thing is empathy. Have empathy. Hopefully from that example, you see where you can empathize with the veteran's story and their trauma. 7 generations is fine, but the trauma of the Black people, they just need to get over it. Just because you're honestly, you're racist. That's why you can't have empathy over here. I feel like if we're ever gonna get in this world to a place where people of color, people who have been oppressed by European white colonizers, can decolonize our minds, and white people can also decolonize their own minds, I feel like it's gonna take a lot of empathy and compassion and understanding, which means we're gonna have to be able to speak freely to one another and do it from a place of love and respect and honor, and of a place of we're gonna get uncomfortable. It's gonna be uncomfortable, but that's okay. Uncomfortable is good, because when you're uncomfortable, you grow. My daughter's in swim lessons, and it was uncomfortable for her for a very long time. And I just always talk to her, uncomfortable is good. It's okay to be afraid. We're gonna push through it. We're gonna move through it. And she's doing amazing right now. She had growth. So we're gonna grow. But honestly, focus on empathy. I think if we can focus on empathy and just listening and just trying to feel what this person feels, I think we'll have a lot of growth. And my last point is there's nothing more frustrating for me. And I'm a person, guys, I love to research. I mean, I feel like if you have watched my videos on this channel for any length of time, you know that I love to research. I love, I love it. I love facts. I love statistics. I love it all. What I don't love is being demanded by white people to give them facts and articles and stats and graphs and charts and freaking government top secret classified information just so that they can validate one struggle, one thing. I told one guy a very minuscule example of white privilege, just super easy to understand. Totally, you can go to any store and you can totally get this. I said, go to Target. Next time you go to Target, go try to find yourself some shampoo. You'll see you have over 100 options. Now, just go try to buy me some shampoo. Look at my hair type, my coily, kinky hair. Go to the ethnic section, which is all we get, and try to find me something. We have about, I have like 30 products to choose from. That right there is an example of privilege that you have. For whatever reason, of course, they got into the demographics and all this. I've actually called Target Corporation. I've actually asked about demographics. I've actually looked at my county and my state demographics in the city and all of the other stuff, and there's no reason for it to not be closer to like 60-40, right? And so it just makes me frustrated to levels unknown to so many dear friends that I have. Like the other night, I was literally in tears because I was so exhausted and frustrated with having to do all of the work. It's like, if you care about something, you are going to do everything you can. Like you tell us, get over it, figure it out, do the work harder, right? If you actually care, if you actually want to know, if you truly do want to be the good Christian that you say you want to be and strive for racial reconciliation and unity and the diversity and everything else, then stop asking me and almost demanding that I qualify every statement with some acceptable article or, whatever, book even, to you. I am not your teacher. Unless you are going to pay me a salary that I set, I'm not going to educate you. And on this hand, I'm going to speak on behalf of probably 85, and I'm being generous, 85% of Black people right now. We're not going to educate you. That is not our job. This is no longer Massa says, write the letter, give me the information, and Black people do it. We're not doing that. So if we truly want to see this stuff start to heal, then white friends, white people, y'all gonna have to do some work if you care. If not, that's fine. I feel like there's enough interracial relationships where everybody's gonna be brown eventually. So that's fine too. If you want to find yourself on the wrong side of history, fine by me. But if you look back in history, it's kind of going well for you, but not really. It's going in a different direction. You will not be the most powerful if you want to go on that racist end, And so I just feel like we got to do better. And part of that is recognizing that there are areas you need to grow in, recognizing the racism within you. It's probably there. I think we all have prejudice, and I think a lot of white people have racism in them. And it's not like because you're trying to, it's just there. Like, we're colonized. It is what it is. Number 2, focus on having empathy. And number 3, do the work and stop it with the demanding of Black people or even white people who are trying to explain these concepts to you. Stop demanding that everyone educate you unless you're willing to pay. If you're willing to pay, I will educate you. That is fine. Hit me up on PayPal. But for the vast majority of you, you're not trying to pay, and you just want someone to make it easy for you and give you everything, and that's not going to happen. So that's all I have to say right now about everything and about how I feel as a Black woman in America, at this time, as a libertarian Black woman in America at this time. And yeah, I think that's it. So I'm super sorry if this video wasn't as organized as you would have hoped. I really just wanted to like speak from my heart and just what I had in my mind of like what would be the most helpful. I tried to make that organized, but honestly guys, there's so many thoughts and feelings. I can't even. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna wrap up the video. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I would love to hear your thoughts and be nice in the comments as always. See you guys. Bye.